as a rookie, and I was kind of proud of it. So 99, I decided I was going to just demolish everyone, right? And my bike broke a couple times. We lost by 4 points. And I was pretty angry from it, which is good. It's good to have a little fire inside. So I said, I'm staying in the U.S. in 2000 so I can make sure I win the title again. And I was forced to leave. So when I left, I went over there with that fire, like, I'm going to train myself to the top. And I was doing everything what I thought was right, and actually overtraining. The stress load, maybe too much. I felt the weight of the world on my shoulders, and I went slower. I was getting progressively worse. The worse result, the harder you train. The more stress load, the sponsors come down on you more. And it was, that bag was getting heavier. Pretty soon I'm like, God, is that like 1,000 pounds? What's on my shoulders, you know? And I was pretty lucky. I ended up getting fired. Halfway through the season, I got put on a B team. And it was such a blessing. I had no idea. No stress. For the first time, just went out and stopped my training, played, relaxed. I had no idea what the little relaxation would do until I went to the next race and went from like being in the back to racing on a B-bike and leading the last lap, almost winning against Troy Bailiff. And I said, whoa, something's different, but I wasn't quite sure, and I realized maybe relaxing, don't let the stress get to you. And I think any young kid is going to be like, oh, I've stepped up, and it doesn't matter what team you stepped up to. You know, you step up onto the Graves 600, all of a sudden you know you have the best bike. You have these guys working on your bike, but you feel like, I better perform. If I don't perform on this bike, it's going to make or break me. And half of that's true. When you're on your bike, and it's a C machine, nobody expects anything, and you probably have some brilliant rides. And everyone's like, brilliant. Put you on A machine. You don't perform on the A machine, not so brilliant. And you're out, just like that. The door opens and closes right in your face. So every kid's gonna feel this weight. You have to, but somehow you gotta shrug it off and relax. If you can't relax, you will never be yourself on the bike. If you ride too tight, it's the old Top Gun theory, right? I'm hanging on too tight, I've lost the edge, right? And he turns in his wings. And it's true, if you hang on like that, all you are is hanging on the bars tighter, squeezing the brakes tighter, slowing down more. You gotta flow. The bike has to do all the work. You watch the brilliant riders and you think, they don't have to be working that hard. They've just relaxed, they've got it. They realize, somewhere they've realized they just push that monkey off their back. I'm out here to have fun and ride that motorcycle. I've done the training. Mentally, I'm great. Let's go have fun. And that's what really makes a great champion. The physical side, you gotta be in just enough shape to hang on to that bike. Because honestly, riding a superbike around, it's no cakewalk. It's not like a GP bike, you know? GP bike's gonna be light. It's not gonna try to wheelie and rip you off the bike, you know? This super bike, and that's where you're gonna start, because you don't usually just get handed a GP bike, is a beast. Man, they're heavy. They don't really want to go around the corner. They have a 17-inch front wheel. There's no 16.5s in our sport anymore unless you're a World Superbike, and you gotta be able to throw this thing around. But at the same time, more important than that is here, you know? So you have bike racing, 90% mental, 10% physical. You could have the strangest situation. I used to always laugh at this and I loved it. Anthony Gobert's a great way to sum it up. The guy was brilliant on a bike, you know? And who knows, maybe still could be, but he was brilliant. He didn't train. I mean, you got a guy that did everything but train, and he could win races. Granted, he looked awful afterwards, and he was sweating, and it was a big scene, but it didn't matter, because for that 45 minutes, he could focus. And that's all it took. And you realize, okay, 90% of it, it's all mental, you know? The difference is the champion also trains, because that 10% is the difference between first and second most of the time.